interruption. Carolyn.
Sorry, I was muted. I had
That's
to
okay.
unmute myself. Hi, everybody. I'm Carolyn Carroll. I'm the president of our board here at Venture Lake. It's located in Hyde Park, New York. And I'm kind of new to this whole board thing. Our board took form October of 2019, so we haven't quite been a board, and I haven't quite been a president for a year yet. And I'm here just to learn anything and everything I can to hear everybody else's experience and knowledge and whatever they can share, and whatever the people who are running it, Molly and Thane and whoever else that is going to be doing it, whatever they can share with us is what I'm here to take away.
Perfect. Thank you, Carolyn. How about you, EB?
Oh, hi, everybody. I'm the secretary of the board of Ross Acres, which is in Ballston Spa, New York. It's south of Albany. I'm sorry, north of Albany. And I'm just hoping to learn from everybody else. We've had a lot of challenges in our park, so I'm just looking for ideas and inspiration. So happy to be here.
Great. Thank you, EB. Ron?
Yeah, Ron Palmer. I'm with Lakeville Village. Lynn Bowes and Ann Radici are my teammates, and we're here to keep gathering information to make us as efficient as we can. And I look forward to having conversations with everyone and enjoying this time together.
Great. Thank you, Ron. And that leads well into Ann.
Joanne Trineri, treasurer at Venture Lake in Hyde Park, brand new, just about maybe a little over a month, and I'm just here to learn anything that I can.
Great, thanks, Joanne. And Radici? Oh, you're muted.
Ann Radici from Lakeville Village in Geneseo, New York. We've been a co-op for 4 years, and we're always up for new and exciting things. And we're just here to kind of buff around the edges and learn what we can.
Great, I like that term, buff around the edges. Mary Louise, how about you?
Hi, my first name is Mary Louise, and I'm the resident of Brittany Terrace, and just very happy that we're now a co-op, and I'm here to listen and learn. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Patty, how about you?
Hi, I'm Patty Reynolds. I'm the vice president of the board at Brittany Terrace. We're located in Rock Tavern, New York. If anybody's familiar with the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, we're just maybe 10 miles from there. I signed up for all of the training seminars just to learn everything I can.
Great. Leo, how about you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
I'm just a member of the Woodlands community here in North Hornell, New York. I just want to see what's going on with everybody and learn what I can from everybody else.
Perfect. Beth, and is Betty there?
Yep, we're both here, and we're sort of sharing the screen, so you see, you know, part of the office.
Yeah, that's good. Staying apart.
I'm gonna listen. So basically, I love these kind of meetings. They've been doing really good. Not only with this, I do with a lot of other boards that I'm on. It works really good, and I love being able to communicate with some of the other people that are in the same boat, or maybe the boat I'm about to get into. And I signed up for everything.
Great.
You guys are making us look bad.
We're all going to learn together.
And Betty, are you there?
I am here, yes.
Okay,
I also just learned I want to learn and listen, and anything that I can take and get out of the meeting, and everybody's sharing all their thoughts and ideas.
perfect. Great. I feel like we can meet that bar of learning anything. I'm feeling good about this. Alice, how about you?
I'm Alice Choupay from Hyde Park, New York. I'm Vice President of Venture Lake Board, and I've been Vice President since March, so I'm kind of learning as I go along. The networking seems to be the best way of learning, so I'm enjoying it.
Fabulous. And Pat?
Is that me?
That's you, Pat Emerson.
Okay. I am the president of the board at the Woodlands community in Harnell, and my term is short. I will be gone next month, but I have enjoyed all these conferences with Rock these past couple of weeks, and I've learned a lot, and I expect to learn a lot here.
Thank you so much, Pat. And Mary, it's finally your turn.
Well, it's absolutely wonderful to see everybody who has shown up for the second annual New York Rock Leadership Institute. So thank you, Molly, for inviting me, and thank you for giving me a few minutes to just say hi and welcome everybody, because I think it's awesome that people have come together even in this time of COVID-19, even though we can't press the flesh and we can't, have drinks together and sit around the breakfast table and drink coffee together and do those things. But people's desire to learn from each other is so strong that people are willing to do it this way. And as Pat Emerson just said, we just completed, actually we have one more session of the National Rock Leadership Institute that also had to go online for the first time in 12 years. We had to do it in this way, and we stretched it out over I think 8 or 10 weeks, and it ended up being really fun, and we're trying to make all of the recordings from those workshops available. So if anybody is just dying for more, you'll be able to go on myrockusa.org and see more classes. I feel a little bit like, I love the fact that there's enough people on here that will remember Romper Room. But when you used to, that old show, and I see Dennis and I see Pat, because it's just, it just reminds me of that. I just want to, for those folks who are not real familiar with Rock USA, I just want to really quickly say, Rock USA is the national organization that launched in 2008 to take this model of limited equity cooperative or resident-owned community, as we chose to call it, across the country. It had been very successful in the state of New Hampshire for 30 plus years. And there's over 100 and now there are somewhere hovering around 150 resident-owned communities in New Hampshire now. But you all are part of the 2008 to now resident-owned communities and we are 264 resident-owned communities across the country, and over 18,000 homeowners who now live in communities that are owned by the residents. So we're a large body of knowledge and a large body of experience that's available to everybody pretty much 24/7. And Pat Stone and Molly are part of the Rock USA Network. That's my role. I'm the director of Rock USA Network, and that represents all of the TA provider organizations. So Pat Stone is one of our affiliated TA provider organizations, and we're 10 right now. We just added a new affiliate in Texas, and they just helped the first, or it's actually the second Texas community to purchase. So huge celebration. And Thane, as she said, has been working with Colluminate, and we're really just beginning what we hope is a long and happy marriage with Colluminate, who's been out there for 30 years working with other kinds of cooperatives and is just really starting to join us in our assistance and support of resident-owned community cooperatives in a really great way. So we're just trying to build and build and build on those resources. And I want to just let people know that they are part of something that's large, and some folks saw the Rock Association. I don't know how many of you on your boards were participated in the election for the Northeast or the Central director on the Rock Association. But that Rock Association, did anybody here get community grants, Better Together grants this year?
We did.
Yahoo!
Yay!
Great. That's great to hear. First time ever that the Rock Association did $55,000 in community grants out to communities. So it was really a banner year. But just to say that I know there's a workshop by the 2 Rock Association directors. I hope that folks are going to be there for that. And there's one more Rock Association meeting, regional meeting coming up. So it's, again, I heard people say they're here to listen, they're here to learn. They know that other people's knowledge and experience is something that they can draw on. And I think we've learned that over and over again, that the experts are in the room. And all we have to do is ask the right questions. And before you know it, folks are really teaching each other more than we could ever bring to the floor. So congratulations, and have a wonderful, wonderful New York Rock Leadership Institute. And I hope to see you guys all in the future at one of the national RLIs as well.
Thank you so much, Mary. And I realize this is a good opportunity to introduce the chat function to those of you who have never used the chat function. It's down in that toolbar at the bottom. There's a little speech bubble with 3 dots. Because I thought when Mary was talking, oh, folks might have a Rock USA specific question. John, thank you for demonstrating proper use of the chat. So you can just, if you have a question throughout the today or any of the workshops that you're attending, you can always use this box to kind of, so we can put a pin in it and address it later. But also if you have a question for Mary, that it would be great to put that in the chat, and then maybe we can circle back to it towards the end if we're doing all right on time. So great, thank you so much, Mary, appreciate it. Oh, yep, check out myrockusa.org. That's true, that's a great place for folks to connect with peers beyond New York. I know at least a few of you have utilized that in the past. There's forums for all types of discussions there. So, so now Thane is going to give us a drink from the fire hose, which is to say, pour a lot of information at us and see how much sticks, huh?
Yes, and Molly, you did a nice gentle nudge there to remind me to stay on time. So I'm watching. I know what I'm budgeted. We'll see how I do.
Okay. I'm going to share your PowerPoint.
Okay, but don't do it yet. I'm not ready.
Okay.
I want to say a couple things first, right? Which is just, excuse me. I look forward to the day where I can have a cough and it doesn't make anybody else in the room nervous, right? So it's nice that you're all there. I have a little sinusy allergy thing going on. I apologize. My voice won't be as beautiful as it could, but I'm thinking of a colleague of mine who says that you can really only in any given workshop take away 3 things. And so the ideas I'm going to share with you are ideas and concepts and words that you can find in other places. Those of you who have been with other boards or rock boards for a while will recognize, I think, some of the material I'm presenting in a different package. I would suggest in the fire hose analogy, Let it wash over you. See if you can catch the 3 things that my friend Jade says are the, the max you can grab. And know that Molly has the slides and can share them back with you. And also that everything I'm talking about is showing up in other training materials. So what I'm trying to do is just offer a framing and some thoughts, because as Mary said, you are the experts. And I think having common vocabulary can be something really helpful. When you learn the word for something that you were aware of, it becomes empowering and helps you talk to other people about that thing. So Molly, I am ready for the slide, and I really am up for the second slide is where I want to start.
All right, let's see. How's that? Do you see it?
That's, yep. Okay. Can we go full screen there?
Sure
So
can.
you're not seeing the
Oh. This is
slideshow.
The joys of
yeah, you see.
being
No,
virtual.
slideshow. You want slideshow.
Slideshow.
Yeah.
I should know that.
From beginning. Yep. From
Okay.
beginning.
So we want to go to the next.
And I don't want presenter view though. I want, yeah, so let's end that. Yep, let's go, yeah, whatever we get, we get.
I know, let's see.
No, go left and go from beginning.
From beginning.
Yeah, and we'll just take what it gives us. Does one of those things down at the bottom give you full screen, perhaps? Wait while we do our technical.
I know.
And it does look like I can share screen. Do you want me to do mine?
Did that work? Hide presenter view?
Yes.
Yeah, if you stop sharing screens, I can share mine.
Sounds good.
How about that?
There we go. The best laid plans.
We'll do it differently. I just want control. I want all control. That's the deal. Okay. From start. How's that?
Perfect.
Look good? You will discover you can drag the view of presenters around if you'd like. I'm going to talk about 3 keys to board greatness, and they're on the slide here, but you'll see the slide again, so don't worry about grabbing them right now. What I want to do is just share a few words, a few thoughts, if you will, and concepts about the role of the board in a cooperative. And after that, we'll talk about these 3 keys to greatness. The place I always want to start when I'm talking about a co-op is this statement of cooperative identity. If you want a really cool parlor trick, memorizing the definition of a cooperative from the International Cooperative Alliance is really cool. A cooperative is an autonomous association. See how I colored the words because each one has power and punch. An autonomous association of persons united voluntarily to achieve their common. This is a key. Economic, social, and cultural needs and aspirations, hopes as well as needs, through a jointly owned, this is your park, and democratically controlled enterprise. Jointly owned and democratically controlled enterprise that meets needs and aspirations. I wanted to talk about the role of the board of directors, and for those of you who are not currently on the board, your future or prospective board members. Sometimes when I'm in a great mood, I think, wow, we elect boards of directors. We could also just have a random service offering that's required in our cooperatives. The role of the board is incredibly special. A fiduciary relationship, we often think of that in terms of money, but it's a trust relationship. And based on trust, because we are in a world where things are governed and regulated by law, I just wanted to lift up that there are some basic minimums that are common to most states. This is a general description of the legal duties of directors, and they divide into the duty of care and the duty of loyalty. Some people will also add the duty of obedience, which I see as a subset of the duty of care. But regardless, the duty of care, it's so easy to be a great director in the eyes of the law. Show up, be prepared for the board meetings, fiercely protect the board's process. I could go on about this for several minutes, but Molly's not going to let me because I'm going to get through the rest of the slide in 4, maybe 5 minutes, Molly. But think about this one point, which I think is important and often comes up, especially in co-ops that are small communities. Do be careful that if you are a board member, And this is something for people who are not currently board members, help support your board members to notice that their board hat is very hard to take off. So even when we think we're speaking in our own behalf, people may hear the voice of the board. So it's really important to be careful. That's one way we protect the process of the board and the role of the board. Other ways of protecting it are encompassed in the duty of loyalty. Conflicts of interest need to be disclosed so they can be managed and mitigated. Every co-op has conflicts of interest. That's the deal, right? We have multiple roles, multiple hats in the rock training material. We talk about all of those different hats. As long as they're disclosed and discussed, generally they don't raise any problems. Not competing with the co-op is a subset of the conflict. We see that in contractual relationships primarily, and hold confidential information confidential. As I say, let this wash over you, because if you go home and somebody says, well, what's the board's job? Here's a simple sentence you can use. The board's job is to make decisions. Everything you do to uphold all those complicated rules is done through making decisions, including deciding who decides what in the co-op. Some decisions in your co-op, the members make. Some, the board is responsible for making, and some of those decisions, the board entrusts to other people, like an operations manager or a property manager. Here's a tip. It is worth thinking about the continuum from more wise to less wise, whatever you want to put on this less wise horizon, and think about how can we make sure that decisions are made by the people who are most wise about the subject. Professional property managers, for example, are experts in property management. We trust that they have somewhat more wisdom than those of us. And the hardest piece for a board of directors is when you have expertise in something that your professional manager does, how do you be helpful to them? But if it's their responsibility, not interfere with the decision they're expected to make. Okay. Look, I'm breathing. 3 keys to board greatness. The first is making decisions as a group. I just want to raise up that group process isn't as easy as it might seem on first blush. It sounds like such a great idea. We will work together, and yet we are human, we are complex, and that is what in fact makes it interesting and gives us the chance to be more wise. So I encourage you to be fierce and playful. There's no need to agree. In fact, your decisions are more likely more wise and more robust and more trustworthy when they're thoroughly debated and discussed. So get right in there with the puppies. Why is group decision making harder? I have the analogy of a snowmobile trip in my mind because I was just visiting my dad in Maine, had to navigate around the snowmobile in his yard for everything that I was doing while I was up there because I wasn't allowed in the house. So I breathed on my dad and caused him damage. Consider a snowmobile trip where it's just you. It's really easy to figure out where you're going, how you're getting there. If you have to change course in the middle, I'm the decision maker. It's relatively simple. It doesn't mean I won't get into trouble, but I have only myself to answer to if that's the case. Now think about a group trip where we actually may have to decide who's going to lead us. How are we going to decide who that leader is? Where is it exactly we're going? What are we going to do when the bridge is out, when we were planning to go over to Sugarloaf and we can't go there now, we have to go around? Thinking about what makes a good decision is a key attribute for board of directors to cultivate, but actually governance is shared throughout the co-op. So understanding who's going to make any particular decision, how is it going to be decided, making sure that the best information is available to your decision maker and know how you're going to communicate it. We'll talk a little more about communication at the end. Finally, documenting a decision makes it a good decision because then we can remember what it was that we said. And right in board meetings, the best boards will stop and check to make sure their minute taker has a specific, can read back the words of a particularly complicated board decision. It's even a good thing to do for simple board decisions. Okay, Molly, I think I heard Evie move and Dennis second to approve the minutes, but we had to change 2 words to reflect that Trish was actually present. Is that right? And when I've read that back, we have some detail. Molly's starting to get nervous, but don't worry, Molly, I'm on it. Holding expert management accountable is the second way to be a great board. Think about it. The board needs to be watchful. It needs to be attentive to what management is doing. But if we're going to fully empower the board, you still need to be able to work as a board and as a team with your property manager together to achieve the results that you have articulated. Be clear always. Your first question when a new subject comes up in the room is, who's going to make the decision about this question? It's the plowing contract. Who makes the decision about the plowing contract? Is it the members? Is it the board? It's the budget. Who makes that decision? Know who decides what. Have expectations about what's going to be okay and not okay. And if you don't have expectations, stop and check. How will we know what's okay? How much snow do we plow? How much does it cost? Conversations about what's okay and what's okay, setting criteria, help us do a better job, not just of making good decisions, but communicating the decisions we made. Insist on having great information and make sure that everybody who's participating in the decision making has had the best opportunity to understand what's going on. Finally, accountability to your stakeholders and your members. Great boards know what's going on in the co-op. So whether it's good news or not such good news, you're able to communicate about it, right? Great boards share the news about what's going on as they see it. I want to go back to that slide because sometimes what's really fun about groups of people is I may be seeing roses and Molly may be seeing the dumpster, right? Or Molly may see that and I'm thinking, wow, everything's great. Okay, so we share the news. When we have news to share, and especially where it's challenging news, be prompt, be direct. If there are limits on what you can say about something, explain those limits, and just keep the information flowing. You cannot communicate too much. Being on a co-op board is the most fun you can possibly have, but it really serves to hang out with friends. Working hard together is a whole lot more fun. So using the strength of your group, you can be an absolutely great board. How'd I do, Molly? 3 minutes over, not bad.
Great, that's okay. We had 3 minutes to spare. The introductions went so much faster than I thought. So
there we go.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Thane.
Thank you, Thane.
That really
That
was a
was
fire
fun.
hose. And now I didn't plan this, but I would like folks to write maybe one word takeaway in the chat just to make sure I know you found it from what Thane just discussed with us, and then we'll jump on to the icebreaker here. But just one word or a phrase, something that surprised you or.
Oh no, Molly, because I don't know what I said. I never know afterwards.
I know, and now we're gonna find out. Communication, great, Anne. Yeah.
Well, I like the thought of the teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
Working together when you got 5 or 6 people making a decision versus one, the chances are greater of being correct.
That's exactly the point. That's great. Yes.
That's a good way to put it. Yes, working as a group, sharing. All right. Thank you all so much. Really appreciate it. The puppies.
I'm working on one, but I have a typo.
That's okay. That's okay. As the beauty of the chat is stuff trickles in. Folks can pipe up whenever. So, all right. So now we have our icebreaker. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to give you sort of a prompt. Well, you'll have 5 minutes or so to kind of think it through, write down, hopefully, some responses to it. And then I'm going to send you into what's called breakout rooms on this Ring Central, which allows you to talk in small groups. Then we're going to all come back together again and share out. But let me tell you, okay, so this is sometimes people call this visioning, right? And boards visioning of what the future could hold, right? I think especially in the work that I do with boards, and you all are very busy, and there tend to be a lot of things happening that I sometimes call it's like putting out fires, right? You're jumping from crisis to crisis sometimes. That's what it can feel like. So this is intended to help you zoom out a little bit and think about what do I want things to look like in the future? So I'm going to pull up the prompt here and read it. So imagine it's 5 years from now, right? It's 2025, almost the end of 2025. And you are writing a postcard to the rest of the residents in your community, right? To all the other member owners. And the postcard is going to talk about what you have accomplished in the past 5 years, right? So what have you done that you're proud of since 2020, where we are right now? So anything that you can envision for your co-op, I want you to just think about it, maybe take a few minutes, write it down. Any questions about this exercise?
Yes.
Carolyn, yes.
So is this things that have not happened yet, or can you include things that you've done so far?
Thank you, Mary, for putting that in the chat. Good idea. I would say it's things that have not happened yet. So you're writing a postcard to folks who are maybe, it's like January 2021, and you're saying, 2025, sorry, and you're saying, this is what we did in the last 5 years, our 5-year
You're
look
asking
back.
us to vision, right? To look
Vision.
forward.
Back to
And
the
I know you
future.
all
That
have
muscle.
things that you've done already that you're proud of, and that's great. But this is, you know, thinking, what can we accomplish? We've got 5 years to work with. What can
What's
we
coming
accomplish?
next?
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
If we're gonna do this as a group,
No, so you're gonna take a few minutes, jot down a few notes, or, you know, mentally lock things in. I apologize. I should have told you to have a pen and paper ready for this. And then I'm going to send you into some smaller breakout rooms. There's 17 folks here, so I'll send you to maybe 4 rooms of 4-ish to talk about your vision. And now I'll stop talking so you can vision. From the, wherever the place is between breakout rooms, I feel like people get like stretched out, and what's that show where people get like stretched and return to normal? Going through a black hole, maybe.
It's a morphing.
There we go.
Everybody's coming back.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, did we get everyone back? I think we did. Wow.
I tried not to come back, but it wouldn't work. I just kept talking.
I noticed that a lot of people waited till the bitter end, which is a good sign, I
we
think.
were working as a group.
Just when I thought I was out, you sucked me back in.
Exactly.
There's no escape.
It's true. So I hope you enjoyed those small group discussions. And I'm just really curious to hear what one thing each group pulled out. So I sent you into random groups. I don't know where you went. So unfortunately, that means I can't call on anyone. So I'll just rely on you to, and I should have asked you to appoint a speaker for your group, but I forgot that part. So
We did.
Yep.
perfect.
We did.
Beth, your group then can lead the charge.
Miss Carolyn.
Okay, so we all pretty much had the same visions, actually, and go figure. But I think the main things were 2 things, and I'm sorry you said 1, but 2. Everybody really interested in getting or building a better community center. So in 2025, we are all going to have these wonderful community centers where the residents will want to come, want to be part of it, and want to volunteer and you know, participate in the community. The other thing real quick is that everybody wants to redo their roads. So those are the 2 main things. There's lots of other ones, but those were the two main.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome so much.
Well, Patty and Alice and I had a chance to chat, and when the postcard came back through, they couldn't believe how good we still looked after 5 years.
Ageless, huh, Ron?
So, but prioritizing, working together as a team, understanding and executing a plan to get us there. And infrastructure must be the word of the day, because we had the same conversation. So Patty and Alice, you can add whatever you want there, but that's.
Oh, you covered it.
Yeah, I'm hopeful, 5 years from now that a lot of the legwork will have already been done. We are a new board. We're a new rock, I should say. It's been just 1 year. And I'm just hopeful that we can have at least 5 strong members. Being a senior community, it's hard, I seem to be the young whippersnapper, I don't know. And I've been retired 10 years. And so, I'm just hopeful that that's where I'll see us in 5 years.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, so our group, we had 2 things also. And the first was financial stability, which includes filling lots and getting people to pay their lot rent. And the other one was member involvement. So that seems to be something a lot of communities struggle with.
Yes, that is true. That's something I hear a lot.
Yeah, we had the same. Filling vacant lots, member involvement, and community center and refinancing. And that was Dennis, Trish, Pat, and Joanne.
Great. Well, thank you everyone so much. So show me with your thumbs up, thumbs middle, thumbs down. How is the first time I've tried that icebreaker? So how, you can be honest.
Great.
How was it?
I loved it. Thumbs up.
Okay, good.
Thumbs up.
Thank
Thumbs
you.
up.
Good.
Thumbs
I think
up.
it's just good. It's hard. You all do so much work every day, and I think it's like in the trenches type work, And so I think sometimes taking a minute to step back and think about what is possible beyond, what is current, I think can be in some ways rejuvenating. Hopefully, I hope. So we have only 3 more minutes today, and I want to be respectful of your time and understand it's an evening. But I did want to just say thank you all so much for coming to this kickoff event, this water cooler call. As a lot of you know, we were doing these at the beginning of the pandemic. We did a couple of them. I'm hoping to get back into that, doing a little bit more informal things like this on a more regular basis. But this is the kickoff to our virtual training, Virtual Leadership Institute, rather. So if you have only signed up for this and now you're like, gosh, I need to attend all of these thrilling workshops, you can let me know. You can email me. I'm happy to sign you up. The first one that will be, the next one after this, I should say, is Saturday at 4 p.m. I'm really excited about it. It is the Rock Association, which is the representatives elected by you all to represent you on Rock USA's board. A couple of those folks are going to be giving a presentation on beating board burnout, right? All the stress and pressure that you sometimes feel, how to have a sustainable experience on your board of directors. And it won't be me. You don't have to listen to me talk. You can listen to folks who've actually lived it. So I'm very excited about that. I think they have a great presentation prepared for you. Actually, I know because I saw it. And then after that, we're going to have an engineer presenting a workshop. John will be back. He'll be talking about the Homeownership Preservation Initiative in New York State, how you all can leverage grant money and mortgage loans and all kinds of things like that. We'll have an insurance representative at one workshop with Haler, Fryer, and Kuhn to answer all your insurance questions. And Nope, that's all of them. There's 4 more. So we have a couple more minutes. Does anyone have any questions, especially a question for Mary about Rock USA? Carolyn.
Just all of the other sessions that are coming up, are they all an hour long?
They are all 1 hour, except John, I believe we only scheduled a half hour for yours. Does that sound right to you? He's nodding. Okay, yes. John's gonna be short and sweet, I suppose. And Mary Louise, just use the chat to ask me, can I resend it? Yes, I'll resend it to everybody, just in case you forgot this thrilling array of workshops available. And technically the registration is closed, but if you want to just select what sounds good and email me back, I can just add you to the list. Let me write that down before I forget. Great. Anything else? We've got 1 more minute.
This
all
was great,
together.
Molly. This was great.
Thank you.
I'm just thrilled my computer made it through the whole.
I know,
whole thing.
Evie, this is probably some type of record for your
Well,
internet
technically my internet is fixed, but we'll see.
Oh, good. Good.
We
Good.
appreciate your time and effort, Molly. We loved it.
Of course. Well, thank you all
Thank you so much
for being here.
Thank you, Molly.
Thank you, everybody.
And thank you,
So we'll
everybody.
see you
Time.
Bye-bye.
later in
Have a
the
very
And 2025.
Time.
Yes.
You're welcome.